Sud 98.9, Centre 97.3, Est-Ouest 91.7.
RM1, it's 9 o'clock. The news with Shaili Neerbun. Good morning, Shaili.
Good morning, Sophie.
We start with the headlines.
Good morning, everyone. And here are the headlines. Electric barge project on hold. Authorities reassess the initiative amid high costs and environmental concerns. Prime Minister's question time today. Prime Minister Ramgoolam to face 20 questions in Parliament. Topics include safe city, national debt, drugs and public fund transparency. Disappearance at sea, 8 cases recorded last year, 1 this year. The sea remains perilous for many. Lovina Sophie has more to say. Children and mobile phone use. 82.2% of 5-year-olds use phones in Mauritius. Dr. Umesh Tufani highlights the risk and gives recommendations. And that's all for the headlines. Thank you for joining us for this news bulletin. Now, the electric barge project initially planned to meet the growing demand for electricity in Mauritius is currently on hold. Beyond the potentially very high cost, the authorities are carefully examining the environmental risk associated with this project. More info with Didier Rose.
Despite a tender having already been launched, no major decision has been made regarding the proposed power shift for Mauritius. The primary concern is environmental. As a signatory to various environment conventions, Mauritius risks the sulfur emission from the barge potentially failing to meet international standards. Furthermore, floating power plants discharge significant volumes of hot water which could disrupt the marine ecosystem, including coral reefs and aquatic life. The reliance on fossil fuels also contradicts the island's ambition for a green energy transition. In addition to these environmental challenges, there's a significant financial constraint. The operation cost of a power ship, including port fees and power purchasing agreements for the kilowatt-hour price, represents a considerable burden.
Parliamentary proceedings resumed today. During Prime Minister's question time, the Prime Minister Dr. Navin Ramgoolam will be asked to answer 20 questions on a variety of topics, amongst them the Safe City project, the fight against drugs, the functioning of the police, the national debt and the use of public funds. Official travel and transparency of spending will also be at the heart of the debates. Other topics that will be addressed include online harassment, the situation of foreign workers, new diplomatic appointments, and the Public Accounts Committee report on road rigs. More details with Nirma Narayana ready.
Independent MP Franco Quirin will be the first to speak. He will ask the Prime Minister for information about the Horse Racing Integrity Division. He wants to know who was selected for the different posts advertised, how the recruitment process was carried out, and whether background checks were done. If they were not, he wants to know why. MP Kushal Lobin will focus on the Safe City camera system. He plans to ask for many cameras have been installed, how many are no longer working, what the total cost of the system has been so far, and whether the government plans to modernize it. MP Bijan, on his side, will ask about the cost of Minister's trip to Expo Dubai 2020. The Prime Minister is expected to provide answers and clarifications on all of these matters during the session.
Sailors, fishermen, water sports lovers, so many professions and passions that rhyme with risk, where some venture out to sea to never be seen again. According to police figures, 8 cases of people missing at sea were recorded last year, compared to 1 so far this year. More details with Lovina Sophie.
Every year, families are left without answers after the sudden disappearance of a loved one at sea. While the pain is immense, another struggle often begins in the shadows, that of administrative and legal procedures. Yuvia Bandou, lawyer, tells us what the Civil Code stipulates.
Sous l'article 133 du Code civil mauricien, qui provide
Under Article 133 of the Civil Code, a person may be judicially declared dead at the request of the public prosecutor's office or the concerned parties in the case of any Mauritian who has disappeared in Mauritius or under circumstances likely to endanger their life when their body has not been found. This affidavit may be sworn by the brother, sister, or spouse. The most important point is that this must be done in the presence of the public prosecutor who will provide their recommendations. Once the judge finds that all necessary documents are included in the affidavit, he may then pronounce what is known as a judicial declaration of death.
And judicial declaration of death.
Behind every disappearance, there is a grieving family while the sea keeps its mysteries.
In Mauritius, 82.2% of 5-year-old children already use a cell phone, a figure that worries a specialist. Some parents see it as an educational tool with apps for reading, counting, or learning languages, but excessive screen time can lead to sleep disorders, concentration issues, or even addiction. Experts recommend limiting screen time, selecting age-appropriate content, and above all, encouraging physical and social activities. Let's listen to Dr. Umesh Tufani, consultant pediatrician, speaking to Nirma Narayana Reddy.
In today's digital age, we're seeing a surprising trend. Babies and toddlers, some as young as 1 or 2, effortlessly sweeping through mobile phones. Many are tapping into YouTube on their own, almost instinctively. While a bit of screen time might support early learning, overuse can paint a different picture. Sleep disruption, shorter attention spans, behavioral changes, less face-to-face interaction, and even visual strain from too much screen exposure.
Time now for a recap of the headlines. Electric badge project on hold. Authorities reassess the initiative amid high costs and environmental concerns. Prime Minister's question time today. Prime Minister Ramgoolam to face 20 questions in Parliament. Topics include safe city, national debt, drugs and public fund transparency. Disappearance at sea, 8 cases recorded last year, 1 this year. The sea remains perilous for many. Lovina Sophie has more to said the let. Children and mobile phone use. 82.2% of 5-year-olds use phones in Mauritius. Dr. Umesh Tufani highlighted the risk and gave recommendations. And that brings this bulletin to a close. Thank you for watching.